We're wasting precious time. Come on to the theater.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Boyos Discuss, the podcast where we pick a topic and then shoot the shit about it for a while. I'm Matthew, and I'm joined by my co-host Ben, and better Ben.
Dude, I'm right here.
Howdy, everyone.
Yeah.
It's up to you, the viewer, to decide who's who. We're having a battle of the Bens.
So this week we're doing something pretty far outside of our normal wheelhouse. Typically we do like meme movies or like stuff we're nostalgic for. We're starting a new segment. It's Boyos Summer Musicals, and we're going to be talking about the Phantom of the Opera movie from 2004.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Are you sure we're not doing a meme movie?
I mean,
It's a meme movie. It's a musical meme.
So, sort of before we go into the synopsis, what's y'all's history with the movie and the musical, just sort of in general?
So I was in theater in middle school, so like I had heard of it. I had, through osmosis, heard of a couple bigger songs, but I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't actually like sit down and watch the movie until like college, and my roommate was just super jazzed and was very excited about the lines, and I kind of get where it's coming from, but I didn't have the same huge buy into it because I guess I watched it later in life. It wasn't during formative years.
Yeah, I think this was like my first exposure to the Phantom. And my dad really liked it, which was really fucking random because my dad is like fucking Bible Belt conservative. Like, it's weird. But he just really has a hard-on for the Phantom. And he would like get me and my older brother, and he'd be like, "You boys want to watch Phantom?" And we're like, "Yeah!" And we go watch it, and he would like turn it off after the first act because he's like, "That was all the good music." And so I have like a weird warped Phantom in my mind. Like, I still think this is the only version I've seen, which is kind of embarrassing. I'd love to see it on Broadway or something, but I mean,
Isn't it off Broadway?
Whatever.
I was lucky enough that on a study abroad, instead of like traveling other places in Europe, I went to the West End and got to see it live on a matinee. And there's a lot of callbacks to like very famous stage stuff. Like we're going to talk about when they go to Phantom's lair, candles rise up from the floor, or like the chandelier rising up. And that's because when it's on stage, it just looks goddamn amazing. But like, you know, in a movie, it's a little more standard special effects.
No. And it's fucked up, but like I always hear people complain about like the vocals and things like this. But if this is this is all I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So I can't like separate that. Like whenever I hear this music from Phantom of the Opera, I think of Gerard Butler and fucking what's his fucking name?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, yeah. So I'm fucked in the head.
So for me, similar sort of thing. The first version I saw was the movie. I think I saw it in high school. I don't really know why, but I loved it. Eventually then we went to New York for our high school band trip, and of course the band was like, we can't see anything too risque on Broadway. Let's watch Lion King. And I was like, fuck that. So I saw that, and then I also saw Phantom because I was like, I'm here, I'm gonna fucking see Phantom.
Wow,
Dude,
what a rebel out there. And
I mean,
you're soft and like musicals. Look out, ladies.
Yeah, only one of those has sex on screen. That's the Lions, dude. The Lions are fucking...
You saw Nala's eyes in that movie.
So with that out of the way, I'm going to kick things over to Better Ben. That way we can sort of do the synopsis and go from there.
So the scene opens in 1919 in the abandoned Paris Opera House, where they're salvaging pieces of the sets and stuff they found around to be auctioned off. They don't really explain why it's been abandoned, since presumably the events of the movie, and they're finally auctioning it. And we see an old man, a woman, they're later revealed to be actual characters in the movie. They're bidding on a monkey with symbols, the little wind-up toy. The monkey is described as in Parisian wear, which is the closest we get to the Persian. I actually read the book, and there's a lot of differences. I'm not going to be real petty in pointing out that any change is bad. This one's weird, though, because it's a major character. Like, he's the one who gives all the backstory on the Phantom. He's the one who guides the characters through like the climax, and he just doesn't exist.
Was he like the guy at the beginning of fucking Aladdin? He's like, let me tell you a story.
No, actually, I think, part of it is, like, large chunks are him just, like, this is what happens.
Okay.
And I think he's just been done dirty in a lot of unofficial sequels. He's just, like, a cartoon of, like, a caricature from conservative news right after 9/11 of what the Middle East is probably like.
No.
Like, the fam is like, harems are bad. And he's like, it's a good thing, the Sultan can do what he wants. Peace be upon him. Allahu Akbar. And it's like, why would you publish this? But, that side little bitch fit tangent aside. After that, you see a chandelier, and it's shown, and it's said to be the work of the mysterious opera ghost. And it's taken up, and it's risen, and there's a really cool transition where it shows the opera going back to its former glory.
It's such a cheesy line, too. They're like, let's put some illumination on the ghosts of the past, and then they fucking
ding with the organ.
Yeah,
I did not care. This movie is cheesy. It's very cool.
Yeah, that part's awesome.
Yeah,
like I don't know if anybody has a problem.
I
with it,
got
probably.
Chills when that happened.
I know
it's
like the best part of the whole.
Some of
movie.
the reviews I've seen are just like, it's real. Not professional, it's not good. It's like, shut up, it's cool looking.
Yeah.
Well, it gets you, like, I like it because it gets you in the mood for, like, the setting and the opulence and the bright and, like, the gaiety and the fucking, the Broadway stuff, like the huge, like, ridiculous set design and costumes and over-the-top characters.
Broadway in the 80s was known for its restraint and cold feelings. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Fucking so like when it starts black and white and all like sad and old and it's like, oh, let's go to a simpler scary time. Oh, I think it works very well.
Yeah.
Before we go down to the story proper, the movie periodically flashes back to 1919. We're not going to do this since, unlike Joel Schumacher, we would like an organic flow to the story. They don't really add anything. It doesn't build a story. It's just a nice framing device, and we're going to pretend that's all it is.
Yeah, it's weird.
As we open up, it is 1870. The opera is rehearsing for an upcoming performance, which acts as the opening number. The opera managers call the cast together and say that he's retiring. The opera is now in the hands of two new investors. The opera's patron is introduced, Raoul, a nobleman played by Patrick Wilson. I really like him as an actor, although he's weirdly typecast as a competent person that no one takes seriously.
Yeah.
Like, is it Night Owl and Watchmen, Jim Bowie in The Alamo,
Travis?
Travis.
Yeah.
And just everything he's in, like, he knows what he's doing, but everyone just spits in his face, and he just kind of sighs and takes it.
I saw him in Bone Tomahawk, and that was, like, the first time I, like, recognized him. And then in every other thing I see him in, I'm like, that's the Bone Tomahawk guy. Now he's in, like, The Conjuring, and, he's the same.
We also get introduced to our main character, Christine, a young ballerina with a heart of gold, dreaming to be a big star in the big city. Her friend Meg, who, since she's not a main character, has no ambition to speak of.
What does she even do, like, the whole time?
She's just like, hey, where you been?
She contributes
and she's like,
nothing.
Oh, you've been practicing with your teacher.
There's
neat.
no point to her character. It's just to sing with Christine in one song, and then,
pretty much, yeah.
We gotta set up her for Love Never Dies.
Yeah, for like her best friend, she's never like, hey, what's going on with you? Do you have something you need to talk to me about? Is this Phantom guy?
No, because her mom is just like, don't worry about
Her mom
anything. Don't
is-
ask any questions ever.
Her mom's the antagonist of the movie.
The mother to speak of is Madame Giry. She's the instructor of the ballet. Arguably the worst person in the show.
Definitely.
Because, like, the Phantom, he's a bad guy, but, she has a sense of right and wrong.
She could stop it.
Yeah,
And she
anytime.
chooses not to.
We'll get more on that later. Christine states that her and Raoul used to be childhood sweethearts in some just very clunky exposition. Like, I know...
Pretty much what Ben just told you. It's like that quote word for word in the movie.
The new owners are told that the opera ghost is expecting his monthly salary, and he has a reserve box. And the movie kind of points him to look like these absurd fools that they're not falling for a Scooby-Doo extortion scheme. Yeah, because they're like, oh, there's a ghost who'll do mysterious things. They're like, no, we're not doing
what
that.
the
And they're like,
fuck?
these idiots.
Wasn't it like 2,000 francs or something?
And they were like, yeah, and that was like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to pay more. And it's like,
fucking insane.
When they're doing that, a piece of scenery falls, causing the lead soprano, Carlotta, to storm off, which I think is fair. Like, if there's industrial accidents and everyone's just like, well, it's show business, no business I know of,
Right.
I would also walk off. But when she leaves, it gives Christine a chance to fill in on the assurance that she has a good teacher. And it's like an hour before curtains, so they just kind of go with it. But she wows and dazzles everyone with Think of Me, because she's the protagonist. Raoul recognizes her and immediately is re-smitten with her, and it shows the Phantom is listening in the catacombs.
I love, like, there's a few shots in that I want to talk about, like, when Christine is performing for the new owners, they're like, well, let the girl sing. Let's see what she can do. And then she starts singing, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
They're looking at each other like, whoa. And then, like, the camera, like, it starts in front of her, and it's, like, it's her face, and then it pans around her back. And, like, when it pans back around, you see the audience is full, and it's, like, the actual stage production.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool transition shot.
And also, like, the orchestra swells. 'cause
Yeah.
they lean on, like, the score a lot.
Oh, and it's fucking incredible. Like, still, like, I feel the same things listening to the music that I did as a kid. Like, it's like the music is so fucking good. There's a reason why this is the longest, running play on Broadway. Like, honestly, you can't just be like, it sucks. Like, shut the fuck up. This music is incredible. So that's cool. And then, like, it's kind of goofy.
I like
But, yeah,
it.
you explained it.
Yeah, they, when she's singing, it, like, goes through the like cracks in the fucking concrete or whatever, and it's the Phantom.
It's like so
listening.
it goes down to the orchestra pit,
Yeah.
and then through the orchestra pit it goes through like a grate,
a vent, yeah, or
and
something.
then that
like
goes through a crack in the stones.
It's cheesy, but I like it.
Yeah. And the Phantom's like, what's this garbled radio static I'm hearing?
One thing I think they could have improved it is, like, as soon as Christine hits one bar, there's like, oh, girl got some pipes. It's like, you could have, like, shown them being disinterested and warming up and
Yeah.
then being amazed.
Well, and also, like, they treat the actual soprano, Carlotta, like she sucks. Like, everyone hates her.
Yeah.
And she's a prima donna, which she is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, even the fucking opera owners are like, ugh, like, cleaning their ears out. They're like, ugh.
They like members
that's
of the
not
staff
bad,
are
it's
like
good.
plugging their ears with stuff. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
now we got
she can't be
now we got
an
the-
opera star in Paris being bad.
yeah.
Well, the thing that me and Ben pointed out when we were watching this is, when we were younger hearing this story, much more in Team Phantom, because we weren't super great with ladies, and he's
No.
just a misunderstood artist.
Poor guy.
But rewatching it now, it's like, oh no, Raoul's just this thunder Chad.
Well, yeah, as a fucking like 14 to 16-year-old, I was very, very constantly felt like the Phantom of like, I like this girl and she doesn't even notice me and she likes the other guys. Yeah. And then like now that I've been Raoul, who's like is actually genuinely deserves just compliments Christine and they are good together. It's like, wow, the Phantom is just completely toxic, and the Phantom's like the ugly side of my development.
He's R/nice guys.
Right,
Yeah.
the Phantom's fucked up face is my teenage years.
Every time he sees Raoul and Christine together, he's like, slut, going with the jock.
I know.
Meg goes on to congratulate Christine on her success and asks who her teacher is. Christine tells her that when her father died, he said he would bring down the angel of music, protect and teach her. She sings the song Angel of Music, which is Meg's one function in the musical. It's a cool song, though.
It is good.
And Meg just kind of goes, an angel of music, which is fair. It's a friendly, supportive thing when your buddy's acting just talking out of his
She
ass.
sort of calls her out. She's like, you're talking in riddles. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And it's not like you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
After that, Raoul arrives and he's told the story of the angel of music. which he dismisses, and he goes to leave to fetch his carriage because he's an alpha Chad. He doesn't wait. He acts.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have time for these
Yeah,
womanly fancies.
He's not waiting 2 days to text her back.
Yeah.
Isn't that the...
Fuck yeah. He was just like, yeah, here's these flowers, bitch. I'm outside in my carriage. I'm rich and I want you. Let's go. Let's get
I
out
got my
of here.
very much not a wig. Don't question it.
Yeah, he's like, it's not even about like if you want to come or not, because you want to come. It's if I'll still be here. Hurry up.
After that, the Phantom locks the door to Christine's dressing room, and Madame Jury watches and does nothing because she's the worst.
Yep.
The Phantom begins to sing to Christine as the angel of music, and then bids her to walk through a secret passage through a mirror into the Phantom's lair, meaning that Madame Jury is now an accomplice to kidnapping.
And they do the same, like the way they're like, raise the chandelier, and it like goes.
Yeah.
It does that again when he like reaches out, like with his hand, and
And they
Christine
start
like
the song.
grabs his
Yeah.
hand, and they do the same thing.
That goes on to the titular song Phantom of the Opera plays. So, like, what do you guys think about this?
There's a hell lot more rock and roll in this one.
Hell yeah, brother. Some sick riffs.
Yeah, you pull out like a fucking guitar. And then he like, they walk down the hallway. There's a lot.
They have
in
a
this.
horse at one point,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know the logistics of bringing a horse
Well,
down
so
there.
so Ben said like when we were watching we watched this together. We were roommates. So like, the candles on the sides of the hall are like actual hands, and they like
Oh.
reach out
Oh,
with
I
the
don't like
candles.
that.
Yeah,
I don't
like you
like
can
that.
see that.
If I remember
There's
right,
like arms, not
it's-
hands. You know,
Oh, okay.
like,
So,
like the arms outstretch when they pass them.
but it's not people's hands, right?
It's people's arms.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like they're like painted gold or something to
Oh.
match the candlesticks,
Dislike.
and they like reach. They extend when they get passed by the Phantom and Christine. And what's that from?
It's some black and white French film. If I remember right, it's the first, like, Beauty and the Beast. And, you know, I like deep cuts as much as the next guy, but what?
Yeah, it's fucking very weird. It's very Joel Schumacher-y. Just
Yeah.
like, well, that's excessive. And then, yeah, they get to the end of the hallway with arms, and there's a horse. And it's like, okay, and it's a very cramped hallway. And he puts her on the horse,
They ride it for
holds
like
her
2
hand.
seconds.
Not
yeah.
they ride it. He holds her hand while she's on the horse. And then they get to the end of the stairs, and he dismounts her from the horse to a boat. It's just like this.
I think that's a call.
ridiculous.
The horse is a call out to the book that the Phantom, like, steals one of the opera's horses or something.
Okay, but it never comes back.
Yeah.
Where does it eat? Where does it shit? What? It's just like very odd, and I can suspend my disbelief a lot for musicals, but that's just so like goofy.
Yeah.
Put her on the horse to walk her down a hallway, and then take her off the horse to get her in a boat.
I mean, I feel like they sort of did what they had to do to get it like, oh, it has to be surreal, and like she's all freaked out.
was
and, like,
very
oh,
surreal.
look at all this crazy shit, you know.
I felt
and,
like
I mean,
Dolly directed it.
Once they get to the end of the hallway, the Phantom sings Music of the Night in his lair.
Oh, no, there's more before
Oh.
that too. They like are on the boat, and he's like Venice scooping the water. You know what I like, the big
Gondola?
stick, the gondola. Yeah, he's got the
Venice
gondola
scooping the
He's
water.
Venice scooping it, and as they're coming into his lair, a fucking giant iron gate rises
Yeah.
electronically. Apparently, he has a garage door opener in his pocket, and then fucking
inventor.
Candlesticks come out of the water and light themselves. Like, it's all this sounds cool, but it's just kind of weird. Like in the context of this movie that's taking itself seriously, that this stuff is happening, and his lair is cool looking. Like, it's cool designs with like a bunch of candles everywhere and drapes and art and
It's
like,
a sick bachelor pad.
yeah, with a big ass fucking organ in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the candlesticks coming out of the water, that's just like ingrained in my memory because it's just so weird. I've never seen that anywhere else. It's just like, okay, damn. I'd be very tempted to have to sleep with somebody if I put me in a boat and then candlesticks were raising up
It's
out of
the
the water.
implication.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a lot of effort, dog. You earned it.
Once they get there, he sings Music of the Night. You see some other wild imagery, like he has a very lifelike mannequin of Christine in a wedding dress, and she passes out from shock or arousal.
She's into it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about
It,
the
like-
wedding dress, but she's into everything up until then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at that point,
if some nice gentleman that I didn't really know like sang me a ballad about let's make real good fucking sounds, but with beautiful language, then like I would definitely stay for another drink and hear him out.
Yeah,
like-
but then what if you get to his home and he has a mannequin of you?
Yeah,
in a
that's
tuxedo?
a little
Yeah.
much.
It's like Silence
That's a
of the
little
Lambs
much.
shit,
It
and
is.
so I'm like, that's
He crossed
we
the line
crossed the
there.
line.
But before that, I don't. Do we know the actress's name?
I
For
don't
Christina.
know her
Okay, well,
name.
Christine is she's fucking. I feel like Joel Schumacher just gave her the direction to be like, I want you to either look confused or unbelievably horny. Like, switch between the two frequently, and that's acting, baby. And like, you know, the Phantom in the song, he's like, touch me and trust me, and she's like, like. She has this like eyes closed ecstasy face like half the time.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's like,
she's
Jesus
just looking
Christ.
blankly, mouth open, like if you were having a daydream and woke up in calculus and you don't know where you are in the problem.
Yeah, and she does that for the rest of the movie. She switches between those two. And so she's like, I don't know. It falls into the pit of just like this woman is a damsel in distress for most of the musical.
Yeah,
just like
well, and,
can't
like,
do anything
even-
to protect herself.
I won't jump ahead, but like even later on, there's parts where they're like, I think the intent was that she's pulling one over on the Phantom, but it doesn't come across that way. And I mean, we'll cross
She's
that
very
bridge when we get there,
damselly.
but yeah.
Like, oh no, I have to go with the Phantom. What could I do? So
Also wanted to take the time of what do you guys think of like the Phantom's design? We'll talk about unmasked, but just like with the mask, dressed, and like Gerard Butler in the role.
I wish either so like I think it looked great, but the mask itself needed to either be bigger or they needed to be consistent with the makeup. Like his ear and the top of his head and the bottom of his face are
Yeah.
exposed from the mask and they are normal. And
Yeah.
then later in the movie they're not. So they needed to be consistent. And that bothered me. But I thought the design was cool.
One thing that's always weirded me out is like when his hair is slicked back, it looks like black or brown.
Uh-huh.
But then later on, when he's like unhinged and it's all going all over the place, it looks like blonde.
Well, she like pulled off a wig when she pulls off his mask.
Oh, he wears a wig
Yeah.
too. Oh, see, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense.
Right. So I think the design is good. The mask is a little too small for me. Like if you're gonna have half of his face fucked up,
Yeah.
it's
One, they like not to go on too much of a tangent, but like the reason it's only half, like in the original, I think the
In
movie.
the book, his whole face is messed up. Like it's described skull-like.
Yeah, in the like first Broadway iteration, they specifically wanted to do half because they were like, you can't see an actor emote if like both sides of their
That makes
face
sense.
are covered. And so it's like, yeah, that okay, and it's iconic now too.
It
That's
is
the other
iconic,
thing. Yeah.
and it's like reminiscent of fucking Two-Face in Batman now. Like that's all I could think of.
Yeah.
Like there's an animated series episode where Two-Face wears like a shawl on half his face, and I'm just like, he could have made a great Phantom.
Also, one of the biggest criticisms, which I believe is warranted, Gerard Butler can't sing real well.
No.
There's one where he's just like holding a note where he's like, ah! Like you couldn't do another
I
shot.
think it's like when he goes like, "Let your mind take you where you want to be." It's just
Well, and I had read something. Apparently, prior to him auditioning, he like had never sang ever. Like before that, really. Like I think he took a few voice lessons, but then they were like, he auditioned and they were like, you know what? Yeah, you get it. And it's like, but why?
why didn't
Granted-
they dub him?
not
I
as
know.
not as bad as Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can like some actors work their dicks off singing,
Yeah.
like trying to sing for a movie, and they dub them.
Yeah.
Like fuck, I'm trying to remember the example. Like I know there's one, but a lot of times these actors get dubbed over, even if they're good, because there's like they're exerting themselves and this and that. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that for Gerard Butler?
Yeah. One like sort of we talked about this before we started recording, but like casting choices. Some of the initial picks were like, oh god, I wish we had had that alternate history version. Like they wanted Hugh Jackman as the Phantom, but he was obligated with another movie. I don't remember what. They wanted Anne Hathaway as Christine, but she was on Princess Diaries 2. It's like, oh my god, we were robbed.
Princess Diaries too.
Maybe it's a real banger of a movie that's
I
set
thought
a
Christine
new
was
tone.
good.
Oh, I've seen it. It's terrible.
That's unfortunate.
I thought Christine was good. I don't think that's a character that actually like. I know I just
She
criticized
just
her
doesn't.
her
I don't
acting.
feel like she has very good presence. Like she's
No,
not.
she doesn't.
Yeah, she's like a piece of paper.
But
That's sort of the like
Well,
just sort of.
but it doesn't
bland.
like. That's kind of what the musical makes it. Like
The Phantom's always going to be the most interesting character because it's literally a self-insert for Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's a not very pretty musical genius that everyone loves that ends up with a much younger actress, and like his wife is a much younger actress.
Well, and to talk about like sort of the creation of this movie, it was in development hell for like over a decade because on the Broadway version, I think the first Christine, he was married to her, like that actress. And so then they had a pretty messy divorce as the like early phases of development of the movie happened. And so they were like, yeah, we're just going to sort of put that on the back burner. So then, a decade and a half pass, and then they're like, yeah.
And then he made Love Never Dies to destroy his ex-wife's memory.
dear God.
Maybe someday. But after Music of the Night, Christine awakens and takes everything surprisingly well given the circumstances.
Yeah, he just throws her on his love bed. It's like a swan bed, and he pulls
has
a
this
handle,
weird
and
drape.
these drapes come down
Yeah.
like lingerie.
It's like the fucking it's in what's the Spy Who Loved Me at the end? They're in that
Yeah.
little pod. And
Well, it's like he must have had this all prepared years in advance, right? Like he's a master architect.
he's
and
been
stuff.
grooming her for like
Yeah,
at least a decade.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
And she sees the Phantom at work writing music, and she removes his mask, causing him to fly into a rage. She has to talk him down. You can also fully see, we'll get to his face without the mask, but you can see it pretty clearly.
Yeah. The reveal was. Yeah.
But following this, the managers are unconcerned. We go to the lobby. Managers are unconcerned because any publicity is good publicity, even when your breakout star is missing. The managers, Carlotta and Raul, all receive notes from the Phantom saying Christine will be returned, but she needs to be the lead in an upcoming show, and as a reminder to pay his salary. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but they never really bring up the salary again.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny watching these two gentlemen go like, his salary has not been paid.
Scrap metal.
They make their money on scrap metal, and people are like, it's the junk business. It's scrap metal.
Scrap metal.
And the one dude just takes it so personally.
Yeah.
He's like,
That guy is like the best actor in the fucking musical. I don't know which one it is out of the owners.
Poor man's John Cleese.
Yeah, he's got like the crazy curls and the mustache.
yeah.
He's awesome. He's like my favorite character.
So they decide to go forward with Carlotta as the lead because, they're inexcusable fools that aren't being extorted by ghosts that only Madame Giry has seen and is not getting a cut of. I'm just going to take a little sidebar here. This is a plot hole for me personally, that Madame Giry is an expert on the Phantom. She's like his conduit to talk to them and just always says go along with him, and no one suspects her of being involved.
Yeah, dude, that's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that, and then I was like, wow, yeah, what a bitch. Like, I already hate her, but I would definitely be like, Madame Giry, are you the Phantom? I think I'm gonna need you to get the fuck out of here. You're scaring the entire ensemble with your bullshit.
Managers then go into the song Prima Donna to grovel to Carlotta to return.
Fucking great song.
It is a very good song.
I
I
don't
love
know.
it.
It just didn't. It wasn't objectively bad to me. It just didn't hit me, I guess. But
Senora, no.
Your audience
This wants you.
I mean, we hate you. We despise you. We fucking want you to die.
And there is a little bit of a disconnect where like at the beginning of the show or the movie, they're like, oh my god, Christine performs so beautifully, and
then
get
they're like-
Carlotta out of here. And now they're like, no, we don't want Christine, we want Carlotta. You're the prima donna.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's kind of weird that they just kind of forgot that they liked Christine
Well,
more.
and then in Prima Donna, they make like an offhanded joke. They're like, yeah, she probably just slept with Raul. That's why she got the lead. It's like, she fucking sang in front of you and you chose
You
her
watched
to be...
her walk out of the chorus, and then there was no, like, middle time when Raul was like, I think you should do it.
And I bet it was just, like, so much fucking fun to be the actress for Carlotta, because you just, like, the act, like, she overacts everything, which is great for the character, and like, half the song is them just trying to give her gifts that she's just like, that sucks!
And then there's, like, the black poodle.
Yeah, she's like,
That's my
oh,
shit.
she likes the
Yeah.
poodle.
She's gonna eat
And they
it.
drink out of her shoe and shit, it's great.
Yeah, I don't know, is that like a...
Tradition or something? I guess.
Is that not how you get girls?
No,
Yeah, dude, maybe you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
apparently.
Be like, madam, I'm not going to even ask what you want to drink because I got you champagne. Now give me your shoe.
But during the performance, the Phantom switches Carlotta's throat spray, and it causes her voice to crack and croak to put the pop opera on pause so that Christine, who's currently in a silent role, can be put in as the lead. The Phantom, despite getting what he wants, decides to scale up from dirty
He
tricks.
didn't get his salary.
Oh,
And
oh,
did he not instruct Box 5 was to be kept open?
but it goes from this like Disney Channel original hee hee ha ha I got
Phantom
ya.
of the Cineplex, some might say. It's a real
Almost.
thing.
It's Phantom of the Telethon.
Oh.
I have not
That
seen
too.
Phantom of the Cineplex.
On the next
That sounds
episode
awful.
of the
That sounds
Boyos
awful.
No.
He moves up to first-degree murder when he garrotes a stagehand for presumably good reason. Like, he's kind of a dick.
But, like,
not
I don't
even.
understand it at all.
He's just like the Phantom, more like the poop. And they're just
I mean-
like, you best watch your words about the ghosts.
yeah, like, he sort of is insulting when they're all, like, drinking, but it's like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty tame.
He
It
went
was-
backstage with the girls.
Yeah,
And
his-
was like telling them a ghost story and being like, woohoo, I'm touchy, but it's like, whatever. It's a stage. He's a drunk stagehand. And
Yeah, and I mean, he's showing initiative. He's like, he sees the Phantom, like, in the top, like, dome of the opera house or
Yeah.
whatever, and he's like, oh, I should probably look into that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and so he does that, and then maybe that's
And it
why
is kind
he's
of
like,
they
yeah.
did shoot that well. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
He's like running from the Phantom, and the Phantom keeps popping up in
Well, and
front
then
of him, and he's
fucking
like, ah!
when he like hangs him and like drops his body, he's like
Yeah.
twitching and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So I'm like, I don't know why he's so gentle with Carlotta. Like, I'm surprised he didn't just put
Yeah.
arsenic in her perfume or something.
Yeah.
But we do get to see his signature weapon, the Punjab Lasso,
Oh,
which in the book is a lot more important because he's like the top assassin for the Ottoman Sultan. And like he would just kill random like prisoners. Like they'd make him fight trained soldiers because they thought it was fun.
and
he
do
would-
Mendigo fights.
and he would just like throw a lasso around their neck and then just tighten it, and he would kill like merciless janissaries that way.
Wow, that's pretty metal. Fucking they keep saying through the whole thing to keep your hand at the level of your eyes, and they never explain it, but it is like to keep you from getting garroted, which is cool. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
wish
then
they kind of
none of them ever listen to that. They do it for like a bit. Like Raul does it for a bit,
yeah.
and then he's like, I forgot.
Yeah, I just always thought that was like things are musical and metaphors in this and stuff. And when I was a kid, I was just like, I don't know why they keep saying that. I don't know what that means. Is that like you know, you got to remember where reality is. You got to see in the dark. You know, it's so dark you can't see your own hand. What is it? But yeah, it's for the neckties.
After seeing the stagehand hung, though, the opera obviously vacates. Raoul and Christine flee to the roof and declare their love for each other with All I Ask of You, which is my personal favorite song of it.
It's a banger.
I
yeah,
mean,
that's my favorite as well.
it's not like especially like poetic with its words. It's just a normal love song, but the chords.
It hits.
Real
one
pretty.
like it leads into like one of my favorite reprises probably in like any musical ever, where it's like we have this nice love song and then the Phantom's like, I'm gonna be an incel.
Yeah,
and be all
it's super
angry.
incel-y.
Yeah.
It comes completely out. Why do I even try? They're
Yeah.
all bitches.
Yeah,
But like before they even get to the roof, they do like a riff that they do through the whole music or the whole musical that I really like, and it's just like a dee 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 dee, and they do that like a lot of different times, but it's always like, ooh, that's good, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while you're seeing this, the Phantom is like hiding behind a statue and he's crying and he's holding a rose.
You're like, what a bitch.
Yeah,
He is
sucks.
just a sad boy. Like I definitely immediately like that was me in high school when I saw the girl I had a crush on, but didn't talk to like a person with, you know, agency and
That
personality.
was me when all I knew about hitting on people was being mean to them. So I'd be like,
You threw a rock at them.
I'd say like something too mean, and they'd cry or something, and I'd be like the Phantom in the back, like,
Fuck you, bitch.
What did she like? That
Allison, this is why your mom has a drinking problem.
She
Why
didn't
is she
like-
with that cuck?
I shouldn't have called her cheese tits. Fucking the Phantom just finished murdering somebody in front of her at her job, and he's like, "Why doesn't she love me?"
Yeah, this scene definitely like. I hadn't seen the movie, but I knew the plot when I was in middle school. I was like, that's so like, I believe him totally.
I
Now it's like,
know.
this absolute clown, this buffoon.
It's called growth.
It's a beautiful
We've
thing.
done a lot of it apparently.
So then, in the stage musical, this is in the second act going into. Time flashes forward 3 months to a masquerade party, and the managers are celebrating their good financial fortunes. Christine and Raoul have a secret engagement that they describe in words, like prose spoken in the middle of a song.
Which is weird.
It's weird, but the song is Masquerade, which is very exciting.
That's a dope ass song. Costumes are awesome. The spectacle of it is well captured in camera work.
A guy vogues.
He does Vogue.
One thing I was kind of iffy about was, you know, it's supposed to be this very bright, exciting masquerade ball, and people are wearing black and white.
I didn't notice till you pointed it out, and then it was all I could see.
I thought
Yeah,
that
it's
was
like
kind
there's
of...
no color. It makes the Phantom stand out more, but still.
Yeah.
Also, I thought about it while watching. We had seen, what is it? Steven Spielberg came out with a new version of it, West Side Story.
Oh yeah.
And their song, to like the exciting, fun thing to get the audience back, is a total tonal clash. It's a very happy-go-lucky thing right after two characters have been murdered. This one, at least, like, whatever criticism I have with it, it is an organic flow of the story.
Yeah, and I mean, they explain that it's been a while since that happened. Like, they're like, yeah, it's been months, you know? So it's like, yeah.
And they
people
do
are
it
moving
between,
on,
like,
yeah.
the exposition there is actually good, where, like, the two managers are just like, well, aren't we just the fucking best? And they just, like, talk about how much money they're making, and it's like, yeah, it's three months and fuck the Phantom. And it's,
Salary.
yeah,
Fuck that.
that's my bitch.
Do you know how much it cost to pay off that stagehand's family? Not a goddamn dime. But then the Phantom arrives dressed as the Red Death.
It is an Edgar Allan Poe reference.
Thank you for pointing that out,
It
Matthew.
is.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And they present his finished opera, Don Juan Triumphant, as Christina's the lead. And it's all very exciting. Raoul goes to confront the Phantom. Like, he walked away at first, and me and Ben were like, what?
Yeah, it was
He,
weird.
like, walks off to
dips-
get a sword, and then he's like, I'm back now.
Yeah, he leaves Christine. He just like sneaks away. Like he doesn't even
it's like
tell her to wait.
It's
and-
like Spider-Man 2 when they're in the bank, and he leaves Aunt May there. He's like,
Peter, don't leave me.
and the fucking banker's like, yeah, real good fucking nephew you
Yeah,
got
right.
there." It's like, oh.
Yeah, but that's because Raoul's getting strapped. Getting his Glock.
He left it in the Rari.
But he goes to confront him, but he falls into a trap where he's like in a room full of mirrors, only to be rescued by Madame Giry. So in the book, the Phantom has like a death room where it's a bunch of mirrors and a metal tree with a noose to kill yourself because you can raise the temperature using electricity.
Jesus.
So you just go mad from thirst until you kill yourself.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a real Bond villain shenanigan.
That's incredible.
But Madame Giry does, I guess, the one good thing, and she lets him out. And then she goes to the Phantom's backstory that he was in a freak show where, like, the whole attraction is he just gets the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I know. It was like, see the bearded lady, the reptile man. Watch us beat this child. It just like,
We're not even going to take his mask off.
yeah,
We're
it
just going to...
just hits him.
And he ends up strangling the ringleader with the Punjab lasso.
His signature.
And Madame Giry is a child. She feels bad. and she takes him and hides him in the opera. And, since he had a tragic backstory, it means that his extortion and murder and grooming a child, it's okay. As long as you don't think about it.
Well, I do like the line where Madame Giry is like, he's a genius. Like, he does architecture
He's
and everything.
an inventor and blah, blah,
just
blah.
a
He's
great
a genius.
lay.
And then Raoul's like, but obviously his genius has turned to madness.
So what do you guys think of the backstory? Because it's not the same in other media.
It's serviceable, but pretty lame.
Because, in the book, like I said, he's, a top assassin for the Ottoman Sultan. He kills the Shah of Afghanistan, and then the Ottoman government is tying up loose ends, so they have to fake his death, and with the help of the Persian, he is snuck, first into Switzerland, I think, and becomes so good. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I've read the book. He becomes so good of an architect that he gets noticed again and has to flee further to Paris, where he hides.
Wow.
See, that's cooler. I like that a lot
Okay,
more.
that's definitely cooler. But how long is he in the theater up until then? Like when does he get to the theater, and how long is he there when the present is happening in the book?
I forget.
Okay, because he he does have to groom Christine. That's a vital part of the story. So him being so he was raised in the opera house and was born there and knows everything about it. Makes sense.
You got to see that really hot 6-year-old move in.
Fuck yeah. But
I sort of wish they just didn't have a backstory. Because, I don't know, I get why they're like, well, why is he the way he is? And it's I don't know, I sort of would prefer not having that, explicitly.
I don't think they overdid it.
It's not as bad as, when they answered, how did Hannibal Lecter become how he is?
No, yeah, or, Anakin or anything. No, I think it's a good amount of mystery with it still. And, it's kind of, it makes the reveal later on in the movie of his face worse because they build it up even more.
Yeah,
that when it's his face is so fucked. He was a circus
he wore
attraction.
A bag on his head.
You ever seen Elephant Man with John Hurt? Pussy shit. And it's oh shit. What's it gonna be? So it hypes it up more. And I think it makes sense that he had to go through his life only in the theater. That's the world he knows. That's it. So he's there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But in the book, you learn his real name's Eric.
Wow.
So after this, Christine goes to her father's grave, where the Phantom tries to abduct her again, only to be defeated by Raoul in a saber duel. Raoul spares his life at Christine's insistence, and so that a third act can happen.
Yeah.
It's a weird scene. Side tangent, we talked about this earlier. Christine's in a low-cut dress, because, she's a proper, attractive young woman.
I know, it's out in the snow and the cold, and she's just got her boobies out.
And the camera goes up and leans down while she's, I think, praying or something, but it just looks down her shirt.
Yeah, it's a long shot.
Yeah, for a minute and a half straight.
Yeah.
We made a joke of haha, boobs, and then we were oh, the cinematographer had a similar reaction.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of it looks weird. It would look normal on a stage play, but when she goes to her father's grave and the Phantom starts talking to her as her father, there's a red light that's shining out of the grave onto her, and it just looks very like you got the light at Spirit Halloween. It just doesn't look organic at all, and it's just that's goofy. And fucking Raoul comes in the cover of every middle-aged woman's romance novel. The fucking puffy,
billowy shirt,
the billowing shirt on the horseback with a saber and long hair.
Yeah.
It's just Jesus Christ. Joel Schumacher just put in his wet dream. And he duels the Phantom, and the Phantom's trying to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
He draws blood on Raoul, and then she's like, no, Raoul. I'd be like, bitch, wait. Do you like him? He killed somebody.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm not going to kill him, but I'm bringing him to the police. And we are going to talk about this, about why you want me not to do this.
Yeah, they just kind of walk away, and the Phantom is then it is war to the death.
It's he just could have killed you.
It's war on both of you then, and it's
It's when you watch the incel guy who creeps on this other guy's girlfriend, and then that guy beats up the incel guy, and then the incel guy's now I'm just going to be even worse with y'all. It's Jesus, will you stop? And then he shoots the school up, and that's what the Phantom's like.
I mean,
Oh my god.
So they start performing Don Juan Triumphant. Christine's in the lead. But they have a trap for the Phantom, which I don't know if it's a trap, if it's very obvious. They just have a bunch of cops with rifles there that when they see an actor, they'll shoot him.
Right.
But, you know, I guess the cops get a free show, so they agreed to it. The Phantom murders the male lead and steals his costume to be on stage, except no one's concerned or confused that the lead actor just lost like 50 pounds. Because he's a fat guy. Like, the Phantom in Masquerade, when he's presenting the play, makes a point like, our Don Juan needs to lose weight, but he doesn't.
Too many bonbons.
And his voice is different. And everyone's just like, no business I know of, it's show business.
Well, I feel like eventually, like, Raul catches on and he's like, oh, but it's like way longer than I think it would take like any rational person to figure it out. But yeah.
But they sing Point of No Return.
That's my favorite song.
It is a banger.
That is a quite good song.
That's fucking sick.
Christine does more either looking super aroused or very confused.
Well, this time it's like even extra aroused, where like the Phantom is like grabbing her midriff,
it's weird,
and like rubbing up like on her tits, and then she's just like leaning back and like into his face. It's just like, dude, like if I was like, man, Raul's a patient man, I'd be like, bitch, you were way too into that. Like, is this turning you on? I'm trying to save your life. Is this why you wouldn't leave the theater? I want to know why the fuck she couldn't just be like, hey, this is getting pretty spicy at this theater. You know, I've established myself. I've been the lead in a play. I'm just going to go find another theater. You're in Paris. Can't go find another opera house. You have to be in the one where the serial killer wants to be with you.
Ben.
Bro.
To be fair, I've also never been in mortal danger like that, so I don't know how much it would turn me on.
That's true. That's true. I can't speak from that experience now.
That's why we have fan mail that they can tell us their life experiences.
Right.
But then at the climax of the song, she removes the Phantom's mask, and the audience is in shock and horror, and his face is not messed up enough.
Yeah.
It's like a birthmark.
Well, and it's like, I don't know how well that would project to an audience, and like, if you're in like the back row, you're like, what? He looks normal. What are you talking
His
about?
hair change color?
And like his face is red and puffy, and it's already like red lighting, so it kind of washes us out.
Yeah, and like his eyes kind of sunken in. Like I said, dude, Harvey Dent in fucking The Dark Knight looked way worse.
Oh yeah,
way worse.
Yeah.
And like I remember there was Great Illustrated Classics, those little books for kids, and there was one of the Phantom, and I was just like, oh, I know what picture I want to see. So I scrolled through to see his weird face, and it was like nightmare fuel. Like missing skin, and his eyes were like in the back of his head, and they were just like little yellow slits. It's just like, oh my god!
Well, and whenever they do like it on like Broadway, they have to make it look really fucked up because it's like what I was saying earlier. They have to make it so people in the back can see how fucked it looks.
Right.
So then you would think, oh, a fucking Hollywood movie with Hollywood effects.
Yeah.
We can make him look fucking like terrifying, but they're like, nah, he's a little burnt. That's it.
Before I had a critic's eye for movies like I do now, and I have all my on point, critiques. Fucking as a kid, I was just like, that was the worst part of the movie. And it kind of ruined it for me. I was like, man, Phantom not fucked up enough. 6 out of 10.
But after this big reveal, the Phantom kidnaps Christine, and they crash the chandelier, and it causes the opera house to burst into flames. Madame Giry leads Raoul to the Phantom's lair, which she knew about the whole time and didn't tell anyone. And then she refuses to help him because, she's the worst. She does say, the hand of the level of your eye, monsieur, and he's like, huh? And she's like, believe me. She doesn't say what that means.
God.
Not, he strangles people, watch your throat.
So she can just slip away into the night and go help another orphan, fucking...
Serial killer.
Yeah, another orphan serial killer groom a child. What a monster.
There's this young boy called Hannibal Lecter. Someone needs to teach him how to be a doctor and chef. But they take him down to the lair. The Phantom demands Christine marry him, which she refuses. And how did she put it? It's like, it's not...
Yeah, she's like, the deformity lies not in your face, but in your soul. And it's
Yeah.
like, damn, it's a sick burn.
Not...
But your face is really ugly. She said that too. Like, oh my God, I would never marry you with that face. But
Look
your
at me.
soul... look at all of this. Do you see this with that face and soul? No.
Well, someone explained to me that the true moral of Phantom of the Opera is it doesn't matter how messed up and like unattractive you are. If you're a musician who can exploit daddy issues, you can punch way above your weight.
That's very... That's the good takeaway.
There you go, kids.
I have a question. I don't see it in here, but what do y'all think of that? There's that part when Raul is like underwater in the little cave.
So fucking unnecessary.
I know. I'm
and
like,
dumb.
it stops the pacing like dead in its tracks. It's like him fucking rushing down to like rescue her. It's like, no, let's just stop. He's drowning.
Yeah, there's a spiral staircase, and him going down it drops away like a trap door, and he falls in some water, and this metal gate starts coming down to kill him in the water and drown him, but he has to like dig through the water, find a nozzle or a fucking valve, turn it, and it reverses the gate, and then he goes back on his way, and it contributes nothing. And there's even a shot that's horrible where like when the gate is coming down, it's reversed footage of it coming up. Did you notice that?
I did.
If you look at the water bubbles, they're going down. Yeah.
Film costs money.
It's so bad. I can't believe they left that in. It didn't need it. It's like a minute tops.
Well, and that's the thing is it's not that long, but it feels like it's really long.
Oh, it's just awful. Yeah, it was horrible. I don't know what the fuck it was.
So after he gets through an unnecessary water trap, he goes to the Phantom, and he's just immediately overpowered and tied to a metal door with very convincing rope work.
Yeah. He just kind of throws the rope around him, and he's like, I'm trapped.
So this is like a weird reference, but do you remember there's that JonTron video of a talking cat, that movie?
No.
Yeah.
There's the part where the cat is in bandages, and
Yeah.
it's very clearly just like they draped it,
Yeah.
they just dropped it on it. Same sort of vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He then says he's going to murder Raul unless Christine agrees to marry him. Christine kisses him.
Passionately.
She slips him some tongue.
Yeah.
It's not a platonic or European kiss. I mean, it would have been gross, but he looks like Gerard Butler except for a birthmark. And then the Phantom is moved by this kindness and releases Raul. They go to escape, and he goes and cries because he's a beta cuck.
Yeah.
And he realizes that the Stacy is just going to go get banged by Chad until she...
When I was watching this with my family, and like they sing like a reprise of All I Ask of You, and they're like, man, they're sort of pressing their luck with that, like, yeah, fucking rubbing it in his face.
Right.
It's like he could turn around and fucking kill y'all.
Yeah, that's very
Like,
true.
Yeah.
And the final shot is Meg, who is apparently in the movie again, goes and finds...
Wait, but you missed him saying, "It's over now." The music of
Well,
the
he's like
night.
breaking all the mirrors to the
Yeah,
song,
in sync
to the
with the
music,
music.
which is dope. I like that. And then there's like one of the mirrors is his escape tunnel.
behind like a little drape, and
Yeah, and I just imagine like the fat chick from Nacho Libre going through the walls.
exactly. Dude, I was thinking about that too. The secret tunnel.
Yeah, but when he breaks the final mirror to his tunnel, it's like this goofy fucking movie maker
After
after effect of the glass. Like if it was a 3D movie, that's where they would have put all their money. Of like, whoa, and the glass like going out. It looks so bad. But he does say it's over now. The music of the night.
Yeah.
And
That
then
is an essential line.
Meg is able to find the mask. It's like, ooh. And it goes back to 1919, and it shows an elderly Raoul visiting Christine's grave, and I think the other person's Madame Giry, who must be like...
No, it's Meg.
Is it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Wikipedia lied to me.
Madame Giry's the one in that like. So at the beginning of the second act, we didn't talk about it because it adds literally nothing. But the second act starts with another black and white, flash forward.
Yeah,
and Madame Giry is like standing there, and she just like watches Raoul's carriage leave, and he sees her in the rear view.
Well, that's Meg. That's like older Meg, because Madame Giry would have been like 110 by that point.
I definitely thought that was Madame Giry.
It's her daughter. Because then that makes sense, like, chronologically. Because then she also she saw the monkey when she was down there, and then that's when it goes to the 1990s.
The monkey. All right, you're right.
I don't know, Mr. Schumacher.
You're right. That makes way more sense. I definitely thought it was Madame Giry the whole time.
Mr. Schumacher's personal assistant won't return our emails.
Well, I hope that bitch is dead. Fucking Madame Giry.
The director's cut, it's just going to be Raoul go up to her and do the King Kong jawbreaker until her head explodes.
That would be excellent.
But you see a single rose been placed, which has been a motif of the Phantom. He keeps on Liam for Christine.
I thought that was the most fucking amazing romantic ending
it
to
is
anything
so
I've ever
spooky.
seen.
It's spooky.
It is spooky.
And then the credits roll, and I don't remember the name of the song, but it does not match the tone.
It's like a Titanic move song.
I don't even, like, I can't even...
It's just like, what the fuck is this? It was so weird. In like a musical that's very like fucking over the top and bombastic, and you end it with like,
You're like,
My heart will move on.
like a sad dog commercial.
It was nominated for Best Song of 2004.
Get the fuck out of here.
At what award show?
The Oscars.
Oh, God.
That song sucked without the movie. Now, I can recognize when a song doesn't go with the movie at all and bops. Like, you ever heard Kiss from a Rose? That's
Yeah.
a bop. Why is it a
Yeah.
Batman theme song? Can't tell you, but it's good.
Yeah.
This song sucked.
So, I guess sort of now that we've wrapped up the synopsis, overall, what do we think of the movie?
It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to just, like, get some beers with your buddies, or, I guess, a significant other and other made-up scenarios, it would be a really good time, just, like, enjoying the evening. You're not going to, like, learn what it means to be human, but it's very entertaining.
I think if you watch this ironically, it's a 9 out of 10. If you watch it as like you went in expecting the Broadway experience, I think that's why it's so blasted.
Yeah,
Like-
and we'll sort of get to that. For me, it's like a very nostalgic movie. I'll
Yeah.
always, like, even just having it on, I'm like, even though it's not the best
I
iteration
can't
of it,
not
I still
watch
get
it.
goosebumps. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Anytime it's on, I'm just like, oh shit, I guess I'm watching the rest of this.
So, like Ben was sort of saying, when it came out, it was pretty much blasted by critics. Like, and I didn't know this until we did this review. Like, I sort of looked at it and I was like, oh, the Rotten Tomatoes score is like 33%. And I was like, Jesus.
Last time I talked about it with anybody but like you and like Ben, it's like people fucking hate it.
And that's so weird
Yeah.
to me. Like, one of the like reviews that I read that sort of stood out to me, it was from Salon.com, and the critics said it takes everything that's wrong with Broadway and puts it on the big screen in a gaudy splat. And
It
it's
is
like,
gaudy.
Jesus.
It is gaudy, and that's the point. It's fucking 1870s Paris.
There's like, the Onion News site does fake news reviews or movie reviews, and there's one for Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. It's like, why are you shitting on this? It's just a lighthearted time in the cinema. It's not Schindler's fucking List. And that's how I feel about people like shitting on this movie. It's like, yeah, it's not technically a good movie, but I had a good time, so it accomplished its goal.
Yeah. And I was going to follow up, like,
The set design and costumes are fucking amazing.
yeah, and I think it is to this movie's benefit that the majority of the musical takes place in a theater, because it's like that. Then you can just fucking make one set and just do that, and that's all you need.
Yeah, like they do multiple musicals in the span of this show. Like they do like theater in the theater.
Yeah.
And all the costumes look very real. Like it looks authentic.
Well, and like even some of the props they have are like pretty impressive. Like they have the paper mache like elephant when they do fucking whatever.
Yeah, I forget.
Hannibal,
Yes, Hannibal.
they have a real body for the stagehand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the stuff that you can tell is Joel Schumacher, like the lair and stuff, and the hallway is goofy. And
Yeah.
you're just like, that's ugh. But like the stuff where they actually try to get it right, like within the perspective of it being an opera house, looks great.
Yeah. So, sort of like, I don't know, talking about like the making of this movie. From the beginning, they wanted Joel Schumacher to do it. I don't know, like, what are y'all's thoughts on him, like, as a director? Like, is there anyone that, like, if you were doing your dream, like, if they were to remake it, like, who would you want to direct it?
I don't know. I know that Joel Schumacher was chosen, like, pretty much at the behest of Andrew Lloyd Webber. Like, he was very hands-on in the creation of this. I don't know who I would pick. I don't know enough musical directors to know who would have, like, a good touch for something very cartoony like this.
Yeah, like all the directors I can think of that are good on sets and costumes, which I feel like is the part you really want to nail, are more artistic. And I wouldn't want their interpretation of Phantom. I would want Phantom. I think Joel Schumacher doesn't make it his version, and like enough, he puts his things in it.
Yeah.
But like you said, like we were all kind of, or at least I was surprised to learn Joel Schumacher did it, which I appreciate his subtlety, because like when you watch Batman Forever, you know who did that.
This is tame, yeah, compared to that and Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, with the nipples and shit.
Yeah.
So it's actually like it's kind of funny that this is a toned down movie for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a bad choice. I think he did the fucking movie. Like, it's not a bad movie.
So we're actually a few years away now from it being the 20-year anniversary of this movie. Do y'all think that there's any chance of them doing like a remake or something like that? Like, I feel like we've gotten to the point where enough time has passed that maybe it could happen. I mean,
I could see them doing like a sing-along version at places like Alamo Drafthouse and more specialty locations. I could see them doing a new updated version of Phantom of the Opera, just because it's like a timeless story. I think it might be a little hard because of views on power dynamics in the entertainment industry. The Phantom will not be a sexy bad boy anymore, but I don't know. But I think definitely within the next like decade, if they had some new version, and it might not be based off the Andrew Lloyd Webber property, but heavily inspired by it, I could see that happening.
I wouldn't want it.
just in general.
No, not
like,
really.
Full stop.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think this is good enough. I think this is the best Hollywood can do this.
See, I don't know that I agree with that necessarily, but like
Hollywood finds unique way. You always underestimate Hollywood's ability to fuck shit up.
No, just
guess
get Chris Pratt as the Phantom. Print money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they could really make this shitty.
I'm thinking of like, you know, sort of more recent Broadway adaptations, like West Side Story, like y'all were mentioning, by Spielberg, really good. In the Heights, really good. I don't know. I feel like we're.
I liked the other West Side Story with all of its brown face. No, I didn't like that part. But I mean, I don't think Steven Spielberg's version was like, oh my god, like thank God we have that now. It's just like, okay, that was it again. Like there's parts of it where it was really great, like I don't know the name of the song. America.
Yeah, this is America.
Yeah, it's a good. That was awesome in the new one and shit. But like, I would need more than just the visuals looking upgraded.
Yeah,
and I don't think you're gonna do more with it. You've done it. I don't think there's more to tell. I don't know.
Well, and one thing we know,
if they make his face
more fucked,
way fucked up, then I'll be behind it.
Maybe not like the musical version, but they've been making this story since like. I know it was one of the first silent movies. Like Lon Chaney did a version of this.
Ooh, there 1910s. You go. Fuck yeah! No musical version. I don't really want another one. But like,
Drama,
give me like a Les Mis with Liam Neeson style. Fuck yeah!
Like lean in that it's full horror.
Yeah, straight up. That'd be sick. I would be so down for that.
So we would be sort of overlooking a big part of the history of this musical if we did not talk briefly about Love Never Dies.
No.
I have not seen it. I know y'all have.
Really? You weren't there?
I haven't. No.
If we do another season of Boyos Summer Musicals, maybe, because it's like this. The best way I heard it described is it's like what Lucas did with the Star Wars thing. That he made this property. It's very popular. Maybe not high art, but it printed money. And then he just got full creative control because he's a genius. And it just reads like fan fiction.
Yeah.
The rough pitch of it is the Phantom escapes to Coney Island where he runs a freak show. It's 10 years later. Raoul is an abusive drunk husband who literally has a song called Why Does She Love Me?
They have a kid, him and Christine.
Who is 10 years old. But in the Phantom, she last met with 10 years old. And you know how like Music of the Night...
This is going.
You know how Music of the Night was really good? They have a song called Under the Moonless Sky where it's a duet about how great sex they had 10 years ago. And it ends with Christine having no agency once again.
Doesn't Meg like come back because she wanted the Phantom to love her or something?
Meg goes crazy because she didn't get an older progressive male to creep on her. She kidnaps the child, and then the Phantom tries to talk down a hostage situation, and he says, "I'm sorry, Meg, we can't all be Christine."
And then doesn't
and
Meg
then lunges
shoot Christine?
lunges for the gun. Christine is shot. The 10-year-old son goes with the Phantom, a creepy guy he met 2 days ago.
And the Phantom's like got to be like 40 something at this point.
And Raoul pouts. And that's maybe someday.
Christine is dead, but love never dies.
Clap, damn it.
The song, so there is a song called Love Never Dies that is actually, it's like the one good song of that musical. Like, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Okay.
Also, the Phantom writes them under the euphemism Mr. Y.
Which is just the worst.
You can't, it's not a movie version. They recorded a stage, like, either dress rehearsal or performance, and you can rent it on YouTube. Have liquor ready.
So, any final thoughts on?
Like,
you.
Well, with the Love Never Dies, it's like we talk about how I feel like a lot of people miss the point, like idolizing the Phantom. But even don't feel bad if you did, because even fucking Andrew Lloyd Webber missed his own point and wrote a fan fiction about the fucking Phantom winning.
So, do we have any final thoughts on Phantom of the Opera before we wrap things up?
I think all in all, it's maybe not a good movie, but it is very entertaining.
I hope all of you eat your heart out if you swear by the Broadway version, because I only have the movie soundtrack on my phone, and I don't have any from the actual play.
And
with Gerard Butler being horrible and all. I love it.
And hopefully we can all grow up to be uber chads like Raoul instead of neckbeards like the Phantom.
That's the dream. We've shifted gears.
So that's going to do it for today's episode of the Boyos Discuss. If you enjoyed the podcast and you're listening on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll be continuing Boyos Summer Musicals next week when we talk about Newsies. Anyways, guys, until next time.